All right, so we've got a whole stack of stuff here about Indiamart. Their earnings call and board meeting just wrapped up
Yeah,
today.
fresh off the press, January 21st, 2025, all about one of India's, leading B2B marketplaces.
Exactly. And what we want to do is help you sift through all of this.
But through the
Yeah,
noise,
get through the noise, all the financials, investor presentations, even the Q&A from their webinar and figure out what is actually important.
what matters.
Yeah,
What
so
matters.
anyone can read the headlines, right?
Right.
Like, oh, revenue's up, profits up, sounds great.
Exactly. But there's always more to the story.
Always more to the story. Okay, so let's actually start with those headlines, though. Give us the big picture of their financial performance this quarter. What jumped out at you?
Yeah, so on the surface, things look pretty positive. Consolidated revenue jumped 16% year over year,
Wow.
landing at a cool euro 354 crore.
Okay.
And profits, those soared even higher, up 48% year over year, hitting 121 crore.
Wow. Okay, so business is booming, clearly. But something you pointed out before we started recording really caught my attention. They're actually serving fewer paying suppliers this quarter.
Yeah, that's right down about 3,715 to be exact.
Hmm.
And that's a trend that's been unfolding over the last few quarters, and specifically within their silver tier, those smaller, newer businesses on the platform.
Okay.
It's something they call churn, basically customers leaving the platform.
So more revenue, but fewer customers. That seems kind of counterintuitive if you're growing. Shouldn't you be seeing more customers, not less?
Yeah, you'd think so, right? But
Okay.
uh, here's where it gets interesting. Indiamart's CEO, Dinesh Agarwal, actually addressed this directly on the earnings call.
Oh, okay.
He said they've made this strategic decision to actually slow down new customer acquisition until they get a handle on this churn problem.
So it's like they're hitting the brakes even though, the engine's running strong. Is that risky?
It's definitely a calculated risk. But it seems they're more concerned about building a solid foundation, for long-term sustainable growth.
Right.
Think about it, what's the point of attracting tons of new customers if they're just going to leave?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But why are they leaving in the first place? Did they change their pricing or?
So it seems to be a bit more complex than that.
Okay.
Agarwal highlighted their efforts to improve something they call platform matchmaking, as well as the quality of the leads, being generated for businesses.
Okay.
And it's taking longer than they anticipated to really, fine-tune those aspects.
So if the smaller businesses aren't seeing the results that they expect, like the connections, the leads, the actual sales, they're getting frustrated and just jumping ship.
Exactly. And Agarwal even hinted that they might actually adjust pricing for the silver tier if things don't improve. They're clearly taking this challenge seriously.
So what does this tell us about their current strategy? Are they just playing defense while they figure this churn issue out?
Not necessarily, while they're tackling this short-term challenge, they're also making some significant moves to expand their offerings and position themselves for future growth.
Okay.
And one area that really stands out is their expansion into the world of accounting software.
Oh, interesting. So they're not content with just connecting buyers and sellers. They want to become a one-stop shop for businesses.
That seems to be the vision. Yeah.
Okay.
They've completed a full acquisition of Busy Infotech,
Okay.
a company specializing in traditional desktop-based accounting software.
Wow.
And they're not stopping there. They're investing in a whole suite of other accounting software companies, each with a slightly different focus.
So it sounds like they're building an ecosystem, almost like a digital business mall, where businesses can go and find everything they need. Are they spreading themselves too thin, or is this a brilliant move to lock in customers?
It's a question worth considering, and it really speaks to a broader trend we're seeing. These platform companies, they're constantly looking for ways to expand their reach and offer these more comprehensive solutions.
Okay.
It's about creating value beyond just that initial point of connection.
Okay, so we've got this intriguing mix of, challenges and ambitious expansion plans. But there's another aspect of Indiamart that I find really interesting, their commitment to sustainability and social impact.
Yeah, that's right. It's not something that always makes the headlines, but it's definitely worth highlighting.
Yeah.
They're doing some really innovative things to promote, eco-friendly practices, both within their own operations and across their entire platform.
This is what I love about deep dives. We're going beyond just the numbers and seeing the bigger picture of how they operate. And it's not just about profit, it's about making a positive impact. So tell me more about their sustainability initiatives. What are they actually doing?
Well, for starters, they're actively promoting what they call green products on the platform. Think solar panels, energy-efficient appliances, eco-friendly building materials. They're making it easier for businesses to find and connect with suppliers who are committed to sustainability.
Fantastic. So they're not just talking the talk, they're actually walking the walk. What else are they doing to incorporate sustainability into their own operations?
Well, their corporate office is LED certified. That stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design.
Okay.
And they've implemented this large-scale rainwater harvesting system.
Wow.
So they're reducing their reliance on municipal water, and they're even taking steps to minimize waste and energy consumption in their digital operation.
It sounds like they're being very intentional about their environmental footprint, but what about their social impact initiatives? You mentioned they're doing some really innovative things in this area.
Yeah, one area they're really focusing on is empowering small businesses,
Mhm.
especially those in, rural communities.
Okay.
They provide free access to their platform for millions of suppliers,
Wow.
giving them a wider reach and helping them grow.
So they're not just focused on those big players, they're also leveling the playing field for those smaller businesses who might not otherwise have, access to such a vast network.
Exactly. And they're also investing in education and infrastructure, in rural areas.
Wow.
They're supporting schools, providing clean water facilities, even creating science content in local languages for girls' schools.
It's inspiring to see a company like Indiamart using its success to give back in these really meaningful ways. It shows that they understand that, their role goes beyond just generating profit.
Absolutely. It
Yeah.
speaks to this growing awareness, within the business world that success is not just about the bottom line.
Right.
It's about creating value for all stakeholders.
Yeah.
And that includes, employees, customers, communities, and even the environment.
Okay, so we've got a company delivering strong growth, grappling with this customer churn challenge, making bold moves to expand their offerings, and demonstrating this genuine commitment to sustainability and social impact. It's quite a dynamic picture. What's the overall takeaway here? What's the one thing you'd say is most important for our listener to understand about IndiaMart right now?
I think the key takeaway is that IndiaMart is at a crossroads.
Okay.
They're facing some headwinds, particularly with this churn issue,
Right.
but they're also making these strategic decisions and investments that could position them for, even greater success in the future. The question is, will those bets pay off?
That's a great question, and it leads us perfectly into the next part of our deep dive. We're going to take a closer look at some of their strategic investments, explore the potential of their expansion into accounting software, and delve deeper into the impact of those sustainability and social impact initiatives. Stay with us. There's so much more to uncover.
So you're probably wondering, how are they actually tackling this churn problem among these smaller businesses while also pushing ahead with all these exciting new ventures?
Yeah, exactly. It seems like they've got a lot on their plate. So let's zoom in on the customer side of things for a minute. IndyMart serves a massive network of businesses, right?
Massive is an understatement. We're talking, over 10 million registered buyers connecting with nearly 7 million suppliers across a dizzying array of industries, everything from textiles and machinery to pharmaceuticals and food processing. And get this, those suppliers list over 100 million products on the platform.
Wow, that's a lot of products. It really is like a digital bazaar for businesses. But with so much variety, how do they ensure those all-important connections actually happen? You mentioned something about an AI matchmaking system.
Right. Think of it as a highly sophisticated matchmaker, but for businesses. IndyMart has invested heavily in AI and machine learning to create a system that analyzes a ton of data, like buyer requirements, supplier capabilities, even things like location and past transaction history. And then it uses all of this information to suggest the most relevant connections, saving businesses a ton of time and effort.
So it's not just a random list of suppliers. It's about making sure the right buyers find the right suppliers to increase the chances of, a successful transaction.
Exactly. And it's working. NDR shared some data in the investor presentation showing that this AI-driven matchmaking has actually resulted in a significant increase in successful connections and ultimately transactions on the platform. It's a key part of their value proposition for both buyers and suppliers. But even with the sophisticated system, they're still seeing churn, particularly among those smaller businesses. Remember we talked about that customer pyramid earlier.
Yeah, the platinum, gold, and silver tiers. Remind me again, how does that breakdown work?
Think of it like this. At the very top, you've got the platinum customers. Those who really understand the platform and leverage it to its fullest. They might be larger companies or businesses with more complex needs. They make up only a tiny fraction of the total customer base. but they generate a significant portion of IndiaMart's revenue.
So those are their VIPs? They probably get like premium support and all the bells and
You
whistles.
bet. Then you've got the gold tier, a larger group of businesses who are also quite active and successful on the platform. Combine the platinum and gold tiers drive the majority of IndiaMart's revenue.
Got it. So it's the silver tier, those smaller, newer businesses where they're really feeling the pain of churn. But if those top tiers are doing so well, what's different for the silver tier?
That's the million-dollar question. And it seems IndiaMart is working hard to figure it out.
Hmm.
They're investing in making the platform, more user-friendly, especially for those who might not be as tech-savvy or familiar with B2B marketplaces.
Makes sense if it's too complicated or overwhelming. Those smaller businesses might get discouraged and just give up.
Exactly. And they're also looking at ways to provide more targeted support and guidance for those silver-tier businesses. Think educational resources, webinars, maybe even dedicated account managers to help them, you know, get the most out of the platform.
So they're acknowledging that a one-size-fits-all approach might not be the best strategy. It's about tailoring the experience to the specific needs of different customer segments.
Precisely. Now let's switch gears and talk about that intriguing accounting software play. Remember how IndyMart acquired Busy Infotech, giving them a strong foothold in the traditional desktop accounting software market?
Yeah, that was a big move, but it seemed like they were just getting started. They're also investing in all these other accounting software companies.
Right, and each of those companies brings something unique to the table.
Yeah.
For example, Viapar is all about mobile-first accounting, perfect for those smaller businesses that are always on the go. Then there's RealBooks, a cloud-based solution targeting businesses looking for a more, modern and flexible approach. It's almost like they're trying to cover all the bases.
It's like they're creating their own mini empire of accounting software within this larger ecosystem.
It does seem that way. But here's where it gets really interesting. They're not just offering these accounting software solutions in isolation. They're thinking about how to seamlessly integrate them with the core B2B marketplace.
Give me an example. How does that integration actually work?
Well, imagine you're a small business owner. You're using IndiaMart to source materials for your latest product line. You find the perfect supplier, you negotiate a great deal, and now you need to manage invoices and track payments. What if all of that could happen right within the IndiaMart platform using their accounting software?
That would be super convenient. No more switching between different systems and trying to keep everything in sync. It would just streamline the whole process.
Exactly, and that's just the beginning. They're even exploring things like invoice discounting and supply chain financing, all integrated within this ecosystem.
So they're creating this powerful network where businesses can handle everything from sourcing products to managing their finances all in one place. It's like a one-stop shop for all their business needs.
Precisely. And it's not just about convenience. By integrating these services, IndiaMart can gather even more data about how businesses operate, which can then be fed back into their AI systems to further enhance matchmaking and create even more value for their users. But their ambition doesn't stop there.
Oh, I know. We still need to talk about those other strategic investments, the ones that hint at IndiaMart's grand vision for the future. Tell me, what else are they up to?
This is where we really start to see the long game they're playing. These investments span a wide range of areas from logistics and procurement to digital identity verification and even legal tech. It's almost like they're trying to anticipate every possible need a business might have.
Okay, give me some specific examples. What are some of these companies they're investing in, and how do they fit into this grand vision?
Well, there's Bizum, a company that specializes in Salesforce and distribution management. They help businesses optimize their sales networks and get their products to market more efficiently.
That aligns perfectly with IndiaMark's core mission of, connecting businesses. It's like they're extending that connection beyond just the initial transaction and helping businesses manage the entire life cycle of their products.
Exactly. And then there's FleetX, a logistics automation and visibility platform. They provide real-time tracking and insights for businesses managing their transportation operations. Imagine the value this adds for companies using IndiaMart to source products from all over India. They can track their shipments, get real-time updates on delivery times, and optimize their logistics operations.
So it's all about creating this seamless flow from finding a product to actually getting it delivered. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. What other intriguing investments have they made?
Another one that stands out is AirChain, an AI-powered procurement platform. They help businesses streamline their purchasing processes, find the best deals, and manage supplier relationships more effectively.
So no matter what stage of the business process you're in, sourcing, procurement, logistics, even accounting, IndiaMart wants to be there to support you. It's a bold vision.
It certainly is. And they're not afraid to dive into emerging areas like digital identity verification. Their investment in IDFi could be a game changer for building trust and security within their ecosystem. It's all about creating a platform where businesses can transact with confidence.
So while they're working to solve this immediate churn challenge, they're simultaneously laying the groundwork for something much bigger. They're not just a marketplace, they're a comprehensive business enablement platform.
You got it. And we can't overlook the human element in all of this. Those board meeting documents you mentioned reveal some interesting insights into their leadership and commitment to those sustainability and social impact initiatives we discussed earlier.
Okay, let's unpack that. What did we learn from those board meeting documents?
Well, first of all, it seems they've assembled a powerhouse board of directors with diverse expertise from finance and engineering to even entertainment. These are people who bring a wealth of experience and fresh perspectives to the table.
It's like they've assembled their own dream team to guide Indiamart through this next phase of growth.
Exactly. And when it comes to their commitment to sustainability and social impact, they're not just paying lip service. The board meeting documents outline some really concrete initiatives they're pursuing.
All right, let's dive into those details. What are some of the key takeaways? How is Indiamart making a difference beyond the bottom line?
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground: the financial performance, customer segmentation, that expansion into accounting software, all those fascinating strategic investments. But what really stood out to me was their commitment to sustainability and social impact. What did those board meeting documents reveal about their approach to these issues?
It's fascinating because it's not just a side project for them. It's really woven into the fabric of their business strategy.
For example, they're actively promoting the adoption of green products on their platform.
So they're actually using their marketplace to encourage businesses to make more sustainable choices. Tell me more about that. What kind of green products are we talking about?
It's a pretty wide range,
Yeah.
from solar panels and energy-efficient appliances to, eco-friendly building materials and packaging solutions.
Okay.
They're making it easier for businesses to find and connect with suppliers who are committed to sustainability.
So they're not just offering a platform for transactions, they're actually curating it to promote, certain values and practices. It's like they're saying, hey, if you're going to do business on our platform, we want to encourage you to do it in a way that's good for the planet.
Exactly, and it's not just about what happens on the platform.
Right.
They're also walking the talk when it comes to their own operations. Their corporate office is LEED Gold certified,
Wow.
which means it's designed and built to meet these high standards of energy efficiency and environmental performance.
LE, that stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, right? It's a pretty big deal in the world of sustainable building.
It is, and it shows that they're serious about minimizing their environmental footprint. They've also implemented a massive rainwater harvesting system at their headquarters.
Wow.
So they're reducing their reliance on, municipal water sources,
Okay.
and they're even taking steps to minimize waste and energy consumption in their digital operations, which is something we often overlook when it comes to sustainability.
That's a great point. We tend to think of sustainability in terms of physical things, but our digital lives have a huge impact on the environment too.
Hmm.
It's encouraging to see a company like Indiamart taking that holistic approach. Now, what about their social impact initiatives? You mentioned that they're doing some really innovative things in this area.
One area where they're making a real difference is empowering small businesses, particularly those in rural communities. They provide free access to their platform for millions of suppliers, giving them
Wow.
a wider reach and helping them grow their businesses.
So they're not just focused on attracting, big corporate clients, they're also leveling the playing field for those smaller businesses who might not otherwise have access to such a vast network.
Exactly. And they're also investing in education and infrastructure in rural areas. They're supporting schools, providing clean water facilities, and even creating science content in local languages for girls' schools.
It sounds like they're really invested in the long-term well-being of these communities. It's not just about making a quick profit. It's about creating a more equitable and sustainable future for everyone.
That's right. And it's reflected in, the makeup of their board of directors, which includes individuals with diverse backgrounds and expertise, including experience in social impact and sustainability. They're bringing a valuable perspective to the table.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Indiamart, what's the key takeaway for our listener? What should they be paying attention to as this company continues to evolve?
I think the most important thing to remember is that Indiamart is at this pivotal moment. They're facing this challenge with customer churn, particularly among their smaller business clients. But they're also making these bold moves to expand their offerings and position themselves for long-term growth. And they're doing it all while demonstrating this genuine commitment to sustainability and social impact. It'll be really interesting to see how these different threads come together in the coming years.
It's a good reminder that business success isn't just about the bottom line.
Right.
It's about creating value for all stakeholders.
Mhm.
Customers, employees, communities, and the planet. And companies like Indiamart are leading the way and showing that it's possible to do well while also doing good.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating. We're not just looking at numbers on a balance sheet.
Right.
We're getting a glimpse into a company that's really trying to shape the future of business in a positive and sustainable way.
And that's something worth paying attention to, wouldn't you say?
I completely agree.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Indiamart. We hope you've gained some valuable insights into this dynamic company and the trends shaping the future of business in India. Until next time, keep exploring.